Have you ever been so sure about a law or your rights only to find out later you were completely wrong? It happens to almost everyone at some point, and today I want to share some of the most shocking legal misconceptions that could land you in serious trouble if you're not careful. Let's start with the classic line everyone thinks will save them. People always say, if a police officer doesn't read you your Miranda rights, your case gets thrown out. The truth is, Miranda rights only have to be read if you're both in custody and being interrogated. If they arrest you but don't question you, they don't have to read you anything. Even if they do question you without reading you your rights, it just means anything you say might not be admissible. It doesn't make your charges magically disappear, yet people think walking free is automatic if Miranda isn't read. Not true. Here's another misconception that could seriously backfire. Many believe if you ask an undercover cop if they're a cop, they legally have to tell you the truth. There is no law that says an undercover officer has to reveal their identity if asked directly. They are allowed to lie in order to conduct investigations, including drug busts, prostitution stings, or any undercover operation. Imagine thinking you're safe just because you asked. That could be an expensive mistake. Let's talk about self-defense. Movies make it look like you can use deadly force anytime someone enters your home. In reality, each state has different laws about what qualifies as justified use of deadly force. Some states have the castle doctrine, others require you to retreat if it's safe. If you misunderstand your state's law, you could end up in prison for defending yourself in a way the law doesn't actually allow. Another big one is about recording conversations. Many people think they can record any conversation they're part of, but not every state is a one-party consent state. In two-party or all-party consent states, you need the permission of everyone involved to legally record the conversation. Violating that can lead to criminal charges or civil lawsuits. Imagine thinking you're gathering evidence for your case only to end up charged yourself. Here's one that comes up often on social media. People believe they can use any music or video clip under fair use as long as they're not making money from it. Fair use is a complex legal doctrine that weighs purpose, amount used, and impact on the market value of the original work. Just because you're not making money doesn't mean it's automatically protected under fair use. You could still face copyright takedowns or even lawsuits. Switching gears, let's talk about police traffic stops. Many drivers believe if an officer asks, they must immediately let them search their car. The truth is, you can refuse consent to a search if there is no probable cause or warrant. Officers can ask, but you have the constitutional right to say no. However, if they have probable cause or see something illegal in plain sight, they can search without your consent. This misunderstanding leads people to consent unnecessarily, thinking refusal is illegal or suspicious when it's not. Another misconception is that freedom of speech protects you from all consequences. Freedom of speech means the government generally cannot punish you for your words, but private employers, platforms, or organizations can absolutely fire you, ban you, or suspend you if your speech violates their rules. People often confuse constitutional protections with workplace policies or social platform guidelines. Here's one that surprises people. Some believe police need a warrant to search your trash once it's on the curb. The Supreme Court has ruled that once you place your trash outside for pickup, it's considered abandoned and police can search it without a warrant. Your shredded documents, personal letters, or anything else in that garbage is fair game. If you want to protect it, keep it inside. Many renters think their landlord can enter their apartment anytime since they own the building. In most states, landlords must provide reasonable notice before entering your unit unless it's an emergency like a burst pipe. If they enter without notice or permission outside of emergencies, that could be considered trespassing or a violation of tenant rights. Knowing this could save tenants from serious privacy violations. Some people also think if they're under 18, they can't be charged as an adult. In reality, minors can absolutely be charged as adults in many states for serious crime. It's called being waived into adult court, and it means they will be tried and sentenced as if they were over 18, with no special juvenile protections. This misconception has led teenagers to commit violent crimes thinking they'd get off lightly, only to end up facing decades in prison. Another dangerous misconception is about restraining orders. Many think a restraining order automatically guarantees safety. While a restraining order is a legal tool to prevent contact, it is just a piece of paper. Enforcement depends on the victim reporting violations and the police acting on them. Sadly, many violators ignore these orders. So while important, they are not an absolute shield. People also often think that if they witness a crime, they are legally required to intervene. In the United States, unless you have a specific duty of care like being a police officer, there is generally no legal obligation to intervene in a crime. Morally, you might feel responsible, but legally you are not required to put yourself in danger. However, failing to report a crime can carry consequences in some jurisdictions, especially for certain types of crimes against children. Here's one for job seekers. Many believe employers can't ask about criminal convictions during interviews. The reality is, unless there's a state or local ban-the-box law, employers can ask about convictions, though not arrests that didn't lead to conviction. Knowing what can and cannot be asked is crucial for protecting your rights during hiring. Finally, people think they can sue for anything they want if they're unhappy. You can technically file a lawsuit for any claim, but if it's frivolous or has no legal basis, it can be dismissed, and you might even be ordered to pay the other party's legal fees. This is called sanctions for filing a frivolous lawsuit. The courts are not playgrounds for baseless complaints. Legal misconceptions are everywhere. They're repeated on social media, in movies, and by friends and family who mean well but aren't lawyers. Knowing the truth can protect your freedom, your money, and your peace of mind. Never assume what you hear is accurate just because it's popular. Always check the law in your state or consult a professional. If you found these legal misconceptions interesting or eye-opening, let me know in the comments which one surprised you the most. Subscribe for more daily breakdowns of the law, your rights, and legal myths debunked. This is Due Process Daily. And we will see you in the next one.